Ladies and gentle gamers, welcome back to another video. So, you want to start tanking, but you're a little nervous. You know, you screw up one pull, you lose aggro on one thing, and all of a sudden it's
Tank noob.
Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should learn to tank. Now friends, before we begin, as always, if you like my videos and you want to see more content, please do like and subscribe and share the video, hit the little bell for notifications. And with that all out of the way, let's dive right in. Reason numero uno. Tanks play an essential role in group dynamics. As a tank, you will play a crucial role in the success of group content such as raids and dungeons or other co-op challenges. Now, this is also one of the things that makes people the most nervous about learning how to tank. As the tank, you are responsible for setting the pace of all the encounters and directing group strategy. Whatever the tank pulls, the rest of the group engages. That's pretty much how it works. So what does this mean for you as a player? Well, taking on this role will offer you opportunities for personal growth as a player and of course development of leadership skills, which means you could get even better at forming and leading your own groups. And if you're pugging a lot, that's actually a pretty big deal. And even if you're not, I mean, just being more confident in the role, taking a sort of leadership head role in the group can be absolutely massive for you. And it can enhance your experience and your social interactions within the game. Now, segueing from that into reason number 2, increased demand. It is no secret to anyone who has played MMORPGs long enough that tanks are in extremely high demand as opposed to DPS. You'll often hear the phrase that DPS are a dime a dozen, or maybe it's a dime for every 3 dozen. This generally means that there's a shortage of tanks on average for group content. And that's where you come in. By learning to tank and improving your tanking skills, you will increase your chance of finding groups more quickly, more easily, offering more opportunities for further progression in the game. When I personally started tanking, well, it was pretty scary for me, but once I started getting the hang of it, I was able to do it at a moment's notice on a whim. And that really helped, especially in this new season, this final season of Dragonflight. I started pretty late in week 1. I had to wait until the weekend because I worked all week and I was working on videos and such. So by the time I got on, a lot of the players were already far ahead of me and they didn't want to take somebody with, you know, under 495 or under 500 item level, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like 5 days into the new season, everybody's like, yeah, 500 item level or nothing. But that was as a DPS. So what I decided to do was swap to tank. And I said, you know what, I'm going to tank a bunch of low keys and kind of get my IO up a little bit and get my gear up so that I will be a more viable pick in the queue for, you know, DPS, because otherwise I'm just going to get outpaced by all the other DPS who are like getting gear faster than me. They started on day 1. They're grinding nonstop. It really is highly competitive for DPS. For tanks, far less so. So if you are struggling to find groups as a DPS, for whatever reason, you can always swap to tank if you are able to on that character and tank a bunch of dungeons and get your IO and get your gear up. And of course, it's not like you have to loot spec tank. You can always change your loot spec to DPS. Because on each and every class that can tank, often enough, most of the gear is pretty much the same for tank and for DPS, with a little bit of variation for min-maxing on the base level gear. The only things that are generally different are the sometimes the weapons, but more often the trinkets. And of course, sometimes the enchants can vary a little. Now that brings us to our 3rd reason why you should learn to tank. A deeper understanding of game mechanics. Tanking requires a fairly comprehensive understanding of game mechanics, including enemy abilities, positioning, and of course threat management. So by learning and eventually, hopefully, mastering tanking, you'll gain further insights into the game that can actually end up enhancing your overall gaming experience. Basically, learning to tank can make you a more versatile player, and it can teach you to better adapt to a variety of situations that you may encounter in the game. And that leads us into our next reason, reason number 4, why you should learn to tank. And that is enhanced problem-solving skills within the game, or just in general. Tanking often involves quick decision-making and adaptability in dynamic combat situations. You'll need to analyze encounters, anticipate threats, and adjust your tactics on the fly to ensure the success of your group. This constant need for adapting and problem solving can sharpen your cognitive abilities and help you out not just in the game, but IRL. And our final reason number 5, why you should learn to tank, and that is, of course, personal growth and feeling of accomplishment. Taking on and overcoming any new challenge can provide you with increased confidence, and it's no secret that competence is directly tied to confidence. The more competent you are, the more confident you will inevitably be. And in spite of what you may hear from other people about tanking just being about eating punches to the face, charging in, and unga bunga swing my mace, it's actually far more complex than that. It can be one of the most challenging roles to master in any MMORPG, and WoW is no exception. As you progress and tackle increasingly difficult content, you will likely experience a rewarding sense of personal growth and achievement, making the journey to becoming a skilled tank a pretty fulfilling experience in its own right. And that's going to do it for this video, friends. Now, going forward, I will be releasing some videos on how to tank specific dungeons, on specific classes. I'll do videos for each and every class that I tank on if that's something that you guys want to see. Please do let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this video. And thank you once again for joining me on all my adventures. And I will see you in the battles to come.
You gotta work hard, play hard, do it from the start. Cause how you do anything is everything you start. Stay consistent and do it every day. Don't let fatigue get in your way. Cause 10% of something is better than nothing. You better do something if you wanna be something. I can feel my stomach rumbling, I'm hungry. Big things coming, I ain't bluffing, yeah.